So lately, what is being sprayed? Which chemical actually is being sprayed? And what do we know about it?
Well, there's a whole raft of them, okay? The two that I'm most aware of, well, no, four,
Okay.
they're still spraying 2,4-D because, again, the chemical companies lied their teeth off and told EPA 2,4-D didn't have dioxin in it, which is a lie. It does, it did, it always will.
That was, yeah, 30 years ago.
Yeah,
was the case, too.
exactly. And it's still on the market. It is still being used heavily. Another one is atrazine. Atrazine, which changes the sex of amphibians like frogs and causes a whole raft of other really not very pleasant birth defects and endocrine effects in humans and everything that lives. I mean, we're all animals, for God's sake, you know? And so atrazine is another one. And by the way, the scientist who blew the whistle, he was hired by the company that makes it to do these studies, and then they tried to stop him from publishing them because he found these horrendous effects, right? And they threatened him, they threatened his family. It was just amazing. But he went ahead and published anyway. And so there are a few brave ones out there. But, so that's another chemical that's being sprayed, 2,4-D and atrazine. Glyphosate, which is commonly called Roundup, but now I think it's also got a bunch of other names because it's not in, its trademark ran out or whatever, or patent. So other companies can make it. But Roundup is glyphosate, which with a raft of horrifying surfactants that are as bad as the glyphosate. And in the European countries have pretty much totally banned it for the last few years. But in this country,
there are hundreds of products, and they mix, and the mixes are trade secrets.
Oh
They
yeah.
are not published.
Oh yeah. There are inner ingredients in pesticides.
I see.
All pesticides.
Which
Just to be clear, pesticide is the blanket term for everything from fungicide to herbicide to insecticide, or any side, homicide. But anyway,
Well, in the movie, we'll cover some of that too.
right.
Right.
But that, like, if you go look on a label if you can get close enough without passing out, and you will see that the active ingredients, say it's glyphosate, is maybe 2% of what's in that container. It might even be less than 1%. And all the rest is called inert ingredients, and they don't identify them. And they don't have to identify them. And often what they do is, for years, they were including DDT, which was banned way back when, and after Silent Spring came out. And they were including it as an inert ingredient in pesticides to get rid of it. Because otherwise it's a toxic waste, right? So chemical companies would swap their wastes and throw it in as inert ingredients in their products. And that way they didn't have to dispose of it as toxic waste, so they saved a bunch of money, plus they sold it to each other, so they were making a little on the side. And they didn't have to identify it even to the company they sold it to.
They do that with fertilizer too.
Yeah.
And even with heavy metals, they can put it in a container and then all of a sudden it's an inner ingredient.
Yeah.
It's an old trick.
Uh-huh.
Anybody else with some questions?
Oh, wait. Yeah, what was the fourth? I did atrazine, 2,4-D, glyphosate. Oh, imazapyr, which is another one that's gotten very popular. It kills everything. It's just amazing. I mean, and it's really systemic. That's why they're using it to kill those tan oaks in California, because they squirt it into this gash that they put around the tree, And it goes not only up and into the foliage and the twigs, it goes down into the roots. Well, even the labels, which are 40 pages long or something, warn users that it will get into the roots and it will transfer into the roots of trees that you don't want to kill. So be careful.